All right, let's dive into one of the most incredible, most mysterious subjects out there. And guess what? It's something you carry with you every single day. It's your own body. Yeah, we totally take it for granted, right? But what if I told you it's hiding some seriously mind-blowing secrets? Let's get into it. Seriously, just think about that for a second. Right now, as you're listening to me, your body is doing millions of things you don't even have to think about. It's wild. So, what is going on under the hood? Let's peel back some of those layers and see what we find. Okay, first up, let's talk about the incredible machinery that lets us get around and interact with the world. I'm talking about the parts that are literally made for moving. Just look at that number. Over 600. That is how many muscles are packed into your body. It's a staggering figure when you really stop and think about it, isn't it? And no, we're not just talking about the ones you hit at the gym. Yeah, it's way more than just biceps. Think about it. Your heart, that's a muscle, working nonstop every single second. Your tongue, the thing that lets you talk and taste your food, one of the strongest pound for pound. And yep, even those tiny little muscles that, let's be real, save us from some pretty embarrassing moments. They all count toward that 600 plus total. But muscles can't do it all on their own, right? They need a framework to work with. Everything is connected. So let's shift gears and look at the skeleton to see how this amazing puzzle fits together. Okay, just look down at your own hands for a second. We use them for everything, right? Typing, grabbing a coffee, you name it. Well, this is a perfect example of how complex our bodies are. In each hand, you have 14 different bones just in your fingers. 14! That's the kind of insane detail that allows for such delicate, precise movements. It's incredible. All right, so that's the stuff we can consciously control. But what about all the things our bodies just do? The millions of processes that happen without us even giving them a second thought. Let's dive into the body's amazing autopilot system. So here's a wild thought. Your body is always, and I mean always, renewing itself. Old cells are out, new cells are in. You're constantly shedding the old bits and pieces, and you might be a little surprised to find out where some of that stuff actually ends up. Okay, you might want to brace yourself for this next one. You know when you're dusting your shelves? Ever wonder what that stuff actually is? Well, have a look. A whopping 70% of household dust is your dead skin. I'm not kidding. Every single day, little bits of you just flake off and join the party. You are literally the main ingredient in house dust. Kind of gross, kind of cool, right? And here's another one of those simple but genius autopilot things. Your eyes are open to the world, right? Dust, pollen, all that stuff. So what does your body do? It blinks all day, every day. It's a simple, automatic reflex that's basically a built-in pair of windshield wipers, keeping your vision clear. So beyond all the daily maintenance, the human body is also an absolute master of adaptation and survival. It changes throughout our lives, and man, it is built to handle some pretty extreme stuff. Let me ask you something, and it might sound a little weird. Are you getting shorter? Because for a lot of us, the answer is, yep. It's super subtle, not something you'd notice in the mirror each day, but trust me, it's happening. So, when does this all kick off? Well, there's a kind of tipping point. For most people, once you hit about 30, you start to gradually shrink. Just a tiny, tiny bit every year. Don't worry, it's a completely normal part of aging. And speaking of survival, check this out. This really shows you what the body's top priorities are. You could maybe go about a month without food, but without water, you're looking at maybe a week tops. It just goes to show you how absolutely critical water is for, well, everything your body does. Okay, so let's pull all this back together. We've got all these incredible, kind of weird, and just wonderful facts. And when you put them all in one place, you really start to see the bigger picture of just how amazing the human body is. So, quick recap. You're a walking, talking machine with over 600 muscles. You are the #1 ingredient in the dust on your bookshelf. If you're over 30, you're probably getting a little bit shorter. And on top of all that, your body is an absolute master of survival. You know, it makes me think of this quote from the philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein. After you hear about all this complexity, all the weird details, and the sheer resilience of it all, you can really start to see what he meant. This physical thing we live in, it's an incredible expression of life itself. And here's the bottom line. All these facts, they're true for billions of people, sure. But they're also happening right this second, uniquely inside of you. It really makes you think, doesn't it? So after all of this, I have to ask, what do you think is the most amazing thing about you?